Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We have got a fantastic deep dive lined up for you. Let's be totally honest for a second. The electric vehicle market is moving at lightning speed right now. Every few months there's a new headline about a massive battery breakthrough, a giant new screen, or some crazy new range record. And because of that, it's incredibly easy to catch upgrade fatigue and feel like the car you bought just 2 years ago is already a dinosaur. So our mission today is demystifying this constant EV upgrade cycle. We're going to do that by looking really closely at the dramatic evolution of the Renault Twingo. Whether you're a hardcore EV enthusiast or just trying to navigate the modern car market, we're going to break down these complex engineering concepts so you can walk away learning something genuinely useful for your day-by-day life. Okay, let's dive right into this because there is a specific mindset we need to talk about. Think about how often we trade in a perfectly good smartphone or even a car just because the new one has a screen that's 10% bigger or a slightly faster chip. There is this massive misconception out there that newer always means better. But what's the real economic and ecological truth? Well, it turns out the most sustainable and economical electric car might just be the one sitting in your driveway right now. Ultimately, the most effective vehicle is not the one with the highest technical specs on paper. It's the one that precisely satisfies your daily operational requirements. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be hitting 1. The upgrade dilemma. 2. Adapted versus native platforms. 3. Battery chemistry explained. 4. Charging and thermal management. 5. The modern EV cockpit. And 6. Your decision matrix. Let's get right to it. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the upgrade dilemma. So we all feel the pressure to keep up with the latest tech, right? It's natural. But here is the absolute crucial point. Before you look at the spec sheets, you have to look at your actual life. If your current EV, like the older generation Twingo, for example, is used purely for city errands, the daily commute, grabbing groceries, its 150 to 180 kilometers of real-world range does exactly what you need it to do, period. Now, consider the financial reality. A brand new car loses a massive chunk of its value to depreciation in just the first 2 years. So if your daily mobility routine hasn't fundamentally changed, trading it in means taking a steep, completely unnecessary financial hit just to get extra range and features you might never even use. You're basically paying a premium for a capability that just sits dormant in your garage. Moving right along to Section 2, adapted versus native platforms. To truly understand if an upgrade is actually worth that steep financial cost, we have to look beneath the exterior. We have to look at the engineering foundation. Think about the old generation for a second. It was built on what we call an adapted platform. It was derived from an internal combustion engine design, specifically sharing its DNA with the Smart 4.2. And because of that legacy, engineers had to cram EV components where they didn't naturally belong. This resulted in a rear motor that completely compromised the cargo space. It was a lot of wasted room. But then compare that to the new generation, which uses a clean sheet approach. It's built on a native electrical engineering platform called AmpR Small. They relocated the motor to the front and created this beautifully optimized, completely flat floor from bumper to bumper. Getting rid of that compromised layout is a total game changer. Engineers basically eliminated all the parasitic dead mass. This native platform gives the car a vastly superior center of gravity, the barocentro. Imagine the difference between cornering in a top-heavy adapted car versus a planted, low center of gravity native EV. The stability is literally night and day. It also massively improves aerodynamic efficiency thanks to that smooth, flat underbody. But here is the real magic trick for your daily life. Moving that drive unit to the front unlocked entirely new utility inside the cabin. It allowed them to add sliding rear seats. So they took what was just a basic, cramped city car and turned it into this highly versatile tool where you instantly decide on the fly whether you need passenger legroom or maximum luggage space. Okay, Section 3, battery chemistry explained. Let's shift from the physical frame to the electrochemical heart of the car. The newest generation bumps up from a 22 kilowatt-hour battery to a 27.5 kilowatt-hour pack. But honestly, the real hidden upgrade is the chemistry itself. It uses LFP, which stands for lithium iron phosphate. When you contrast that with older nickel manganese cobalt or NMC cells, LFP is remarkably stable. Here's a quick bit of science for you. NMC batteries degrade over time because their crystalline structure can literally break down under repeated charging stress. But LFP, it uses these incredibly robust iron phosphate bonds. This makes the battery highly resistant to thermal runaway and chemical breakdown over the years. Premature degradation is virtually eliminated, which turns the battery into a long-term asset instead of a depreciating liability. And that science directly translates to an incredibly useful tip for your daily routine. Let me throw a number at you. 100%. Older NMC chemistries typically ask you to limit your daily charging to 80% just to protect the battery's health. I mean, it's basically range anxiety by design. But thanks to the sheer operational resilience of LFP cells, you can charge them to 100% every single day. Zero stress, zero capacity loss. Think about how liberating that is. You get consistent, guilt-free access to your maximum true range every single morning. Which perfectly dictates what kind of driver this car is actually meant for. The older generation is what we call the urban specialist. Its 150 to 180 kilometer range is super efficient for localized inner-city tasks. The new generation, however, is the occasional traveler. Upgrading to that 260 kilometer range isn't just about showing off a bigger number on the dashboard. It provides a highly reliable buffer. Think about taking a weekend drive out to the mountains or visiting friends a couple of towns over. It gives you the necessary freedom to confidently venture beyond city limits without constantly staring at your battery gauge. Which brings us to Section 4, charging and thermal management. So, if battery capacity dictates how far you can travel, charging technology dictates how quickly you can get back out on the road. Now, both generations are fantastic at destination charging. They feature 22 kilowatt AC charging, which is still the absolute gold standard for plugging in at home overnight or at the office. But the new generation breaks the city center ceiling entirely. With its advanced charge package, it introduces 50 kilowatt direct current rapid charging. This was completely missing from the previous generation. In practical terms, this means instead of waiting 3 hours on an AC plug just to get enough juice to get home, you can simply grab a quick coffee while the DC charger does its rapid work. It absolutely unlocks true regional mobility. And the way the car manages this speed is pure brilliance, mostly through active thermal preconditioning. It's so simple. Step 1, you just set Google Maps to a fast charging destination. Step 2, because LFP batteries are fairly sensitive to temperature, the vehicle steps in automatically. Think of a cold battery like trying to pour cold syrup out of a bottle. It's sluggish, right? Well, the car actively optimizes and warms up the internal battery temperature while you're driving. It warms the syrup. Step 3, you arrive at the station, plug in, and because the battery is already at its thermal sweet spot, you instantly achieve that maximum 50 kilowatt flow. It drastically cuts down your charging wait time. All right, Section 5, the modern EV cockpit. Transitioning from the energy flow straight into the driver's seat, we are talking about a quantum leap from a Spartan interior to a highly sophisticated, smart environment. Right off the bat, you have integrated Google services and over-the-air updates. This means your car essentially ages in reverse. It gets smarter and gets new features as time goes on. Then there's one-pedal driving. This drastically reduces your cognitive load. No more exhausting foot dance between the brake and the accelerator in bumper-to-bumper city traffic. You literally just ease off the accelerator to smoothly brake and recapture energy. You've also got a comprehensive suite of advanced driver assistance systems keeping you safe on the highway. And like we talked about earlier, the physical versatility of those sliding rear seats means you can adapt the space for either legroom or luggage in a matter of seconds. And finally, Section 6. Your decision matrix. We've unpacked the engineering, the chemistry, the tech. Let's bring it all together for the climax of our explainer. This is where we translate everything into a definitive framework for your own life. I call it the right size framework. Basically, it comes down to 2 paths. Path 1, keep your current vehicle if your usage is strictly urban, you rely on convenient home or work charging, you want to avoid steep financial depreciation, and your current car's battery is healthy. Just keep it. It is hands down the most economical choice. But on the flip side, path 2. Consider the new generation. If your life cycle has changed, if you actually need the freedom for occasional extra urban trips, if you require 50 kilowatt DC charging for regional travel, or if the space of a native EV platform and the safety of modern ADAS are major priorities for you, if those things ring true, then the new generation is a profoundly better tool for you. I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought. As automotive technology races forward at this breakneck speed, are you letting your mobility adapt to the latest specs on a showroom floor? Or are you actively choosing the specs that adapt to your daily life? I really hope this framework empowers you to make exactly the right choice for your own garage. Thank you so much for joining me today for this explainer. I absolutely love breaking down these concepts with you, and I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn and explore something new day by day. Stay curious, and I'll see you next time.